smoking all day. Night comes on, here I am. Every night it's the same. And now I'm thinking that you're miles away. Thunder, so come back another day.
The first album we recorded was very, you know, just heads down, play.
You're walking around like Jesus.
We recorded the first one in four days.
Just blood, sweat and beer, as we say.
Just a swollen glance. Walking around like Jesus. Like a Jesus filled the dough.
It was our first recording in a real studio, and it was just, we were like children in a sweet shop.
Yeah.
You know, we had shit guitars, bad amps, and we turned up and he said, there's loads of guitars, and he was like, just play on those for about half a day. See if you like any of them. And we were just going, this first one's great, this second one's great. And then we had a good rapport with him. We worked really well together, and he was a very funny guy, and he got the band, and it was great. It was amazing.
Although I heard a song called Great White Lie off the first album for the first time in about 2 years in the bar before, and it sounded very good. The second album was lots more in, you know, we had brass musicians, so trumpets, saxophone, piano, organ, motor. You know, we all
more
went to the
arrangements.
sound. Yeah, and we took more time.
But we just recorded it with this guy in Liverpool, Keith Thompson, who's a great producer, and we've worked together and we have a good understanding. So if it's some recordings, then
you'll be happy with that.
At least it wasn't some recordings prices. We would have been fucked.
Yeah, and he likes to get that. Keith Thompson, the producer, likes to get that sound of like old kind of 50s, 60s sounds. So it sounds, you can hear the room, you know, you can hear puts a microphone in the room and records that. And he's very good, Keith. We love you, man.
What a fan of Herotones will be.
But the third one, which you haven't heard yet, but that'll be out at the end of this year. We recorded that in 2 days in Berlin. An opportunity came up. You can record in Berlin. It's a 1950s studio, like Sun Recordings and all this. 2 days. Yeah, let's fucking do it.
Almost everything. Still a sneak and rule of law. I'm a rotten pimp from a rotten coal. Castigated and disowned.
Let's record it in that way. It was just in a room, just one room, everything. We played all together, just a few microphones. It was to record. It's a 4-track. So
reel to reel.
Yeah, reel to reel. So it was that, like, you know, the way that the old Motown records.
Oh, that's cool way.
Yeah, it was good. Good fun.
Yeah, I suppose it has evolved through time. Yeah, the music, I think it's become, we've got obviously better. We get better with life, with time, and it's developed a lot of ideas, and I think the sound has become fuller. Influenced by artists like Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, and people like that, I suppose, as well as it's a varied interest, you know. So some songs I suppose, sound a bit like that. Maybe Worry or whatever sounds, which we played on the radio, sounds a little like it's in that tradition, I suppose, of the American songbook. Well, Howlin' Wolf is one of my favourite singers, but yeah, obviously Tom Waits, yeah, Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash. I actually am a big Hank Williams fan, so, although the voice doesn't sound like it, you know, but I just think he's probably got one of the greatest voices ever. There's an ache in his voice that is just beautiful. And, yeah, it's like a cry.
I don't have a problem with people, you know, downloading things and sharing it, because I think it's important to just get the music out there. And I think people will always buy the records, the LPs, the CDs, and when we come to play gigs, people buy things. It's important because if you hear the music and you like it, you come down to the show, and then you get money from that. So it all feeds into the same thing. So personally, I think it's good to have everything. So if you want to buy it, you can. If you want to, you know, give it steal it, you can. If you want to steal it, that might think different. I don't know. But personally speaking, I'm okay.
I'm fine. I mean, you can't stop it, can you? So.
But one more thing I'd like to say is I got from Spotify. I got a statement from Spotify for, you know, the royalties for the records. I got the last one I got was 6 pence.
Yeah.
When times are tough, I think people make good art, you know, as a kind of reaction to that. Like the 70s and 80s in Liverpool, or the 80s, very, very tough, and lots of great music.
Unemployment, but lots of good music. But I mean, ultimately there needs to be more of a kind of awakening en masse, really, for there to be any realisable change, because the system currently is just unfettered neoliberal capitalism that is running amok ultimately between, you know, and the gap is getting wider. So music, if it's a distraction, good, you know, but for any realisable change, I think there needs to be an armed revolution.
Command, they do my bidding.